you didn't work as hard as you did to get from patrol to deputy to, all that stuff to stop there, right? So it's
right. It's kind of like what I always tell my daughters, we didn't come this far to only come this far.
Yeah.
But, not everybody's also built for the top job because, that's a very different skill set. Mm-hmm. We talked about this a little before we got on, but, in navigating the delicate politics and, you're pleasing a lot of different masters when you're in a role like that. And you ultimately answer to the citizens, right? So the whole family's involved. That's why this is the kind of thing you talk about your wife with,
You're off base, he's about to tell you.
Right. Well, the chief advisor, my wife, 100% has to be on board, right? Or this doesn't work.
Yeah, true.
And number two, you're 100% right, because as the deputy chief, the job of the deputy chief is to run the operations of the agency. Mm-hmm. Right. So to your point, that might not be someone that is comfortable in front of a camera, in front of a microphone, or in front of politicians. Right.
Yeah.
But they may be really good at what they do as far as running operations, criminal investigation division, support services division, patrol division, et cetera. But does that person have the ability to transition into the next role where it's more you're in front of the camera, you're on the microphone, you're dealing with different types of politicians or different mindsets, and you have to be willing to work with that, and you have to be willing to listen to people and absorb that and be patient and have grace. And so those are the things that come with this position. So you're right. Either you have it or you don't have it at that next
Based
level.
on everything you just said, I've got no chance at ever becoming the chief of police.
I like being in front of the camera, so.
I can do the camera, the microphone, the patience thing, not going to happen.
Well, listen, in any organization, right, a good COO is not always a good CEO or CFO
right.
or any of those positions. That's why there's division of those powers.
Well, I gotta know two things. First, and that's a simple one, but I mean, it sounds like that progression's over like a decade. How long have you been with Sarasota Police?
Over 20 years.
Okay, well over a decade, 2 decades, in fact. And then secondly, the pros and cons. What was on the cons side?
So the cons is it's the time away from the family. Mm-hmm. You really have to dedicate a lot of time. This is not a Monday through Friday job, right? This is a 24/7, 365. I saw somebody on New Year's Eve and they said, hey, do you have the night off? And I'm like, I never have the night off.
Especially
this
not that
phone
night.
Never turns off. I have to turn this phone so it gets updates, right? Otherwise, it's never powered off. So that's one of the cons. And
is there a chance you can get pulled off this podcast right now?
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Better get the questions in.
Yeah, we better get them in fast.
I got a question. Like, at what point does it get your attention as far as like incidents?
So the bosses know they can make decisions, but there's certain decisions that they don't want to make, right? Mm-hmm. So that's when
what's that litmus test?
That's usually like a critical incident. If we have a couple of years ago we had an active shooter, if we have a barricaded subject, things of that nature that are really, or if hey, this is going to cost X amount of money, we better bring it to the table and have a chit chat about this. Those are things that are really going to get my attention.
Speaking of critical incidents, how long have you been the chief, by the way?
So it's been, 2 years? And I think I was the interim chief. I think I like to joke about it and say it was the longest job interview in the history of chiefs of police. It was 8 months that I was the interim chief of police. And during that time, we had some major incidents occur.
What was the most major incident?
Or the most challenging, the one that kept you up at night?
When you have 6 homicides in 8 weeks and you're the interim chief, you're going to sweat a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But what I would always convey is, one, I don't have a crystal ball, because if I had a crystal ball, I'd be traveling the globe solving crimes before they happen, right? Mm-hmm. Two, what I do have the power to do is put the right people on the project and solve these crimes. So all 6 of those homicides were solved within 24 hours, and within 48 hours, we had made arrests.
Wow.